Hey guys, welcome. In this video I will give an introduction to the do while loop. I'll show you a trivial example and then a longer one. Okay, so the trivial one is designed just to show you the execution of the loop quickly. So let's take a look here. Bring up a new project as I've done here. Now you're going to say integer x equals 1, and then you'll say do like this. Now here the difference between this one and the previous one, the while loop for example, is that this one checks the condition on the bottom, so you will say something like this. Okay, while for example, while x say is less than or equal to 5, and then you close with a semicolon at the bottom here. You see? There you go. Right now here you can do it that way if you want. There you go. Then we can run code that says, for example, console.writeLine, and then you can say the current value of x is, and then you'll say that, and then close with a semicolon, comma, and then put in x, and then you need to increment the values of x as before, so you'll say x plus plus, close with a semicolon. There we are. Okay, so the code that you see here in green is a more substantial bit of code. I'll show you that in a second. There you go. So here's focus on the logic of the execution. So debug and step into. There you go. That. See that? So that's the execution here. Okay. So here the difference is that this code will run one time because the condition, as you can see, is checked all the way on the bottom. And then, but then after that it loops as usual. So you have your value of x, which is the counter. Its value is 4. The condition is checked on the bottom. Here, if you hover your mouse, you see the condition checks to true so far at this stage. All right, let's take a look. Now this condition, as you see, it's still true because it's less than or equal to 5. There you go. And then it checks the condition. Well, at this point x is 6. This is 5. The condition will fail and the loop will exit, as you see here. There you go. Okay. So this example is illustrative of the concept. So let me just block that out. But its value in practical terms is limited. So let's take a look at something more substantial. So we're going to say console.writeLine. Okay, and then you're going to enter a string. There you go. Close with a semicolon. And of course what I'm showing you here can be done other ways. This is a way of doing it, not the way of doing it. Okay, and now we are going to say here string s equals and console.readLine like this. Okay, and then you can say here console.writeLine. So first a user will input a string, and then we'll search for a certain character within the string. Okay, so console.writeLine, and then you'll say enter character to find, say like that, close with a semicolon, and then you're going to say string ch equals string. You could have gone here with a character, char data type. For our purposes, string is enough. It doesn't really matter. It will do what we need it to do. And then you're going to say console.readLine, close with a semicolon, so it looks like this. Okay. All right. The next stage you're going to do this. You're going to take an integer index, set the value equal to 0. Then you'll say integer counter equals 1, and then you will say here do. Like that. Okay, let me delete this code that I have typed already. And now, on the bottom, you will do this while the index is less than the length of the string. Okay? Okay, so while it's less than the length of the string, you will repeat this, and then let's do a console.readLine. Why not? There you go. And what are you going to do? So this is what you'll do. You'll write if s does substring, okay, index, comma 1. So you're gonna go to the indices in the string, grab one character, and that character happens to be the empty space, or rather ch, the character that the user input as a string here. What you will do is this. You'll type console, okay, .writeLine, and then you'll say we've hit, and now you're going to put a placeholder in here like that. Okay, so we've hit the character, right? Number and another placeholder at index and another placeholder still. Now remember, placeholder indices begin at 0 and then go up from there. Okay, that's why I have 0, 1, 2. And after this, you're going to specify the list. So ch, comma, counter, comma, index, like this. Close with a semicolon. Then you're going to do counter plus plus. This will count the occurrences. And at the end, you also want to increment the index. So you can do that down here and type index plus plus, close with a semicolon. Okay? Let me delete this code that I have here. Let me move this up a little bit. Alright, so console.readline. Alright, so here's our code. Okay. Simple enough. Well, it wasn't so simple to devise, but once you have it devised, then everything can seem simple after the fact, correct? Debug, and let's give it a start without debugging at first. Enter string. Okay, so let's say some string such as this is the best day of our lives because it's the only day we have, right? Say search for S, hit enter, and it says we've hit S number 1 at index 3, we've hit S number 2 at index 6, we've hit S number 6 at index 46, and so on, right? So if you count the indices, remember they start from 0, so T is at 0. You'll have 0, 1, 2, 3, so that's true, and then 4, 5, and then 6, that is true, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that is true, and so on, okay? There you go. Now I'm going to show you something. What if you want to do something like this? It might be a thing that, imagine you want to display something within double quotes like this, okay? Clearly, if you just try to place double quotes, it doesn't work, right? This thing is underlined and it says only assignment, call, increment, decrement, await, and new object expressions can be used as a statement. So that doesn't work. So the way to do that is you're going to put a slash this way and a slash this way. You see that? And this is called escaping, and that means now. This is treated the way it's supposed to be treated. So if you go debug and start without debugging again, and type this is the best day of our lives, right? Search for S, and you see now S appears on the screen with double quotes around it, okay? And the number, and the index, the location of it also within the string. There you go. Okay, so this is just some starter code that I made fairly quickly. Feel free to modify, improve, and so on. There are other, very likely better ways of doing this. This is just to get you going, thinking in a certain direction. And let's see. And I would definitely suggest at this point that you use the debugger and step through this code very carefully with the debugger to be sure you really understand what the code is doing, okay? So for example, make sure you understand where it says if dot substring index, so that's the current index, and 1 character forward. If that's equal to the character user specified, if that is true, then all of this down here runs below, okay? And because we have found that character, we increment the counter. There you go. Okay? Then we increment the index. That means we are moving across the string. Okay? We move across the string. We check the condition within the if block. Find the next character that matches. We increment the character counter. Right? Display all this information, and then we increment the index to move another, to another location within the string. So we're scanning the string, so to speak. And if, as we scan the string, we find a matching character, we display that back to the user. Okay? And remember, the choice of do while here is somewhat arbitrary because I could have implemented this, with other constructs. This is just a way to show you what you can do with this. So thanks very much, and I will see you in another video.